Hello everyone and welcome to another Statwing for Appraisers tutorial video. Today we're going to be covering part 1 in the workflow series. If you're not currently a Statwing user, please go to statwing.com and in the sign up section, in the How Did You Hear About Statwing box, type in the code LONG TRIAL. That will upgrade you from a 1-week to a 2-week free, no credit card needed trial of Statwing. Okay, so in previous videos I've covered how to bring data into Statwing, which is over here on the left. But if you create a model in Statwing like I have done here, I've created a neighborhood trends model, a regression model, depreciation model, matched paired model. If I have those models, one other way to just bring the data straight into that model is by hovering over the re-upload data area. So if I click on that, gives me the same options, and I'm able to either drag and drop, browse for a file, or just paste straight from a spreadsheet from my MLS and bring it straight into the neighborhood trends and stats. So we'll assume that I just did that, and we'll go ahead and open up the neighborhood trends and stats. And I would like to point out one thing while that's loading about bringing data into Statwing. So I know there's a lot of other software providers out there, and as you're looking at these, one thing that you'll see is a lot of the other providers out there have a system where you need to map fields to other fields. So they'll have specific fields and you need to make sure yours match that, or you can only bring in certain columns from your data. And a lot of times there's a lot of legwork involved in getting those set up, so keep that in mind. Statwing doesn't do that. When you bring data in, it's intuitive enough to read what you brought in, tell you if it's a column or a category, if it's a number, if it's a time, and then also gives you the options to change that. So much easier data handling as opposed to some of the other things that are out there. So in the neighborhood model that I've created, what I'm trying to answer is all my one-unit housing trends, and then also the statistics for price and age. So we'll just start with number 1 here, which is property values. So once again, I'm in my neighborhood and trends data set, and I've created a workspace. And workspaces are, as you can see there, workspaces are like tabs in a spreadsheet. So you can continue to create these over and over, and they're kind of their own little piece inside of the bigger data set. So I've created workspaces down here, as you can see, and I'm going to go to my property values workspace. So once I click on that, as you can see here, that it gives me the graphical data down here at the bottom of the trend line over the last couple years. I can do the mean, the average, or the median. I can also change if I wanted to look at that monthly versus yearly, and I can kind of unsmooth and smooth out my trend line as well. And then as you hover over each year, it'll give you the median value during that time. So you can see this is a pretty stable market. Statwing also gives you alert up here at the top. There's no statistically significant trend over time. So one click, and then now I'm able to answer that question. So I'll move on to demand and supply. This is a bit of a two-part answer, but we'll go ahead and go down to absorption rate here. And here we go. So what I've done is I've looked at the past 3 months, or a snippet of the 3-month period here to give me my sales and then all the active listings. I had 83 sales, and then from there I was able to just work the equation out to get to my absorption rate based on that inventory. So once again, one click, and I was able to answer the supply and demand. And now I'll move on to the marketing time. Again, I have a marketing time workspace. One click, analyzes it, and here we go. I've got my days on market. I've got under 90 days, 90 to 180, and then 180 plus. Obviously you can see here that the bulk of these are under 90 days. So that answers the marketing time question, and also gives me a little more insight into my supply and demand. Now I move over to the descriptive part of price and age. So I have that labeled as 1-unit housing in my marketing time, or I mean in my neighborhood area. Click on that, and it takes a second to analyze those two. And here you go for the age. Got my median and my average of 37 and 35, and my high and my low. And then for sale price, same thing, my high and my low, and what would be my predominant. And there, I've answered those two questions. So there you have it, pretty simple. That's my neighborhood trends and analysis model in Statwing. Once it's created, very simple to just plug some data in, analyze those, and in a couple clicks you're out of there. So that's it for this is part one of the workflow series. If you're not a Statwing subscriber, please go to statwing.com, go to the sign up section, and in the how did you hear about Statwing box, type in the code long trial. Thanks for watching.